Namaskar and welcome back to Chandam. You've probably wondered where we've been. Let me tell you, Chandam can never go away from us because rhythm is the very heart of our existence. And today, on the eve of International Women's Day, I have with me on Chandam a very special guest. She's rhythmic, talented, extremely outspoken, and her name is Swarupa Ananth Sawkar. Interestingly, Swarupa has been named as the Forbes 30 under 30 topper. Isn't that an achievement? Well, so let's go ahead and talk to Swarupa. Hi Swarupa.
Hello.
And welcome to Chandam.
Thank you.
Of course, the name Chandam is so equivalent to you because since the time I have known you, you have been equal to Chandam. And I want to essentially talk to you about how you have broken certain barriers and you have gone across to the other side and proved that women can do things as good as men can do. And you know what I'm talking about because you've been there and done that. So could you talk about some of these experiences?
Sure. I mean, see, if I have to be honest, I did not start off or at any point or through the journey think of it as, oh, I'm going to go and shatter stereotypes. Right? My whole point was I love music. I love the tabla.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I want to do all the time. I just want to play music. I want to play my tabla. I want to learn more. I want to learn more instruments. It so happens that it's a field that doesn't have women, right? Or it has a handful of women. And somewhere along the lines, I realized that okay, I am, breaking stereotypes, or I am challenging what we consider as a norm. But that's not really my motto, right? Or that's not my goal. My goal is to be a good artist. It's to create music. It's to have fun with my music. And I think I've always put my head down and done this. And I'm lucky and thankful that it's been inspirational somewhere around the line. For women, for younger girls, and I think I'll continue trying to do that.
Swarupa, one of the things that I just want to ask you, and I'm sure that those who are watching this episode would also want to know that what was the reaction of Abbaji when your mother took you as a small child and said that she wants to learn tabla?
I think, looking back, I was too young. I don't remember the episode, but obviously I've been told the episode multiple number of times.
Yeah.
But I went there as a 10-year-old. I had only learned tabla for 2 years before that, so I pretty much knew just the basics. But something told my mom that she should just ask. I was actually turned down from the assistant for the class, who was. At that time there was an assistant who was running the class, and he said that there are certain rules. You need to be of an X age, you need to have so much training, she doesn't fall under both categories, so you'll have to come back later. And we were like, okay, but something struck my mom and she said, can she just play, take his blessings and leave? And
and then you never left.
I never left. And it's just, I think it's so gracious of him to have looked at me as this young kid who just wanted to offer, something at his feet. Being the greatest tabla maestro there is, or our country has seen, or this world has seen. I just wanted to, at that point, play whatever I knew, whatever little bit I knew, and then leave. And like you said, I never left. Because it was wonderful of him to say, no, you're not going anywhere, you're coming to class tomorrow. And that's just my biggest blessing.
So that's where the journey began.
Yes.
And from tabla to the djembe to the drums, you've like conquered so many percussion instruments. So what is it that led you?
Is a large word.
Large word. Never mind. You've handled so many percussion instruments. So can you just say how this journey has been? Like from a very Indian classical instrument, and of course you've played some folk instruments as well, So if you could talk about this journey.
I think curiosity is the biggest role in that journey. But before curiosity, I want to get to a very particular incident that happened in college. And when I was and when we were in Ruya, I was only playing the tabla, and there was this one particular competition which was a Western group singing competition, and there was somebody from our college who was meant to play a djembe for that competition didn't turn up. And I get a call at 6 in the morning saying, just come. And I said, I don't even own a djembe. They said, just do anything and come. And I called another friend at 7 in the morning who I knew had a djembe. And I said, please do something and lend it to me. And that was literally the first time I laid my hands on the djembe. I naturally transcribed the rhythms onto the instrument. Right? It was again not something that I practiced because I literally got a call 1 hour before. I showed up and I felt the rhythm. I transcribed what I knew from the tabla or just what you hear, and I kind of let it out of my hands. And then I think it was a journey of curiosity. You know, every instrument I looked at around the world I wanted to try. It's as simple as that. And some I could play, some I can't. Let's be honest. And then some I could play well. Which I thought, okay, maybe I should pick these up and then, maybe I should add these to my list or add these to my sound and to my set. And that's pretty much how I, created the soundscape of instruments that I make.
So, we are celebrating the International Women's Day. And I think one of the very important things that people who are watching should know is that we've always spoken about the Tablanaari.
Right.
Yeah. But here I have the Tablanaari. So, what are the qualities that the Tablanaari has?
See, Tablanaari, like you say, most people loosely use the term, but they don't realize that it is a bala, someone without strength. And my biggest strength is my instrument, right? Which is why Tablanaari. And I choose to flip the whole narrative around and say my strength is my tabla, and this is what I want to be known as, right? I want to be known from my instrument,
right?
And hence, Tablanaari. So I pretty much take all the strength that I can from my music and stand up and show up.
You've also started this entire all women's band.
It's not exactly a band. It's a community.
Okay.
So Women Who Drum is what it's called, and it's a community for all women out there who either play an instrument, play a percussion instrument, are learning, have been doing it for years together, wants to do it, just like to listen to it, it doesn't matter. But this is a community to bring together all of these women and just enable conversation. Because we realize, or at least I realize, that it's a very lonely journey when you are breaking stereotypes or when you are in this whole world of, you're the only woman among men kind of scenario. And I realize that's actually not true. There are many women playing percussions in our country today. But we are scattered. And we, for whatever odd reason, don't speak to each other much. Don't speak about each other much. And I think I want to break both these, right? And hence I created Women Who Drum, where I say, hey, I picked up the phone and called a bunch of them and said, let's talk to each other. We share the same stories, we have the same joys, we have the same sorrows, we have the same frustrations.
Right.
Just, this is just a space, it's a safe space to speak to each other. And promote each other, why not?
If
we are a handful, we should promote each other. And that's pretty much the whole idea behind Women Who Drum, and it's growing.
So, have you ever thought of taking this community and performing?
Absolutely. In fact, we did a gig also. Around the end of last year, we were lucky enough to it was a very last minute thing, but I had 5 women up on stage, and it was not all percussion. The best part of it was we had bass, we had harp also to kind of add to the whole soundscape. We had an Iranian duff player, we had 2 tablas. I was there, of course, on a bunch of percussions, so it was really nice. But I do intend to take it live. I do intend to have workshops by women, for women, grassroots level training for girls, just introduction to rhythm to as many women and girls in whatever spheres of life as I can through this.
The next thing that I want to go into, of course, is that you've claimed the 30 under 30 in the Forbes list. So, what was that experience like, and did that in any way help you in your journey?
I till date pinch myself. I have to be honest. See, things like the Forbes list is, you read it in newspapers, you read it in the Economic Times, and you think people like, people who have these big surnames, the Ambanis, and these are the guys who land up on Forbes list. And when I got the call saying, hey, you're part of the Forbes 30 under 30, I kind of thought it was a prank call. Then I had to call sources and make sure it was not a prank call. But it's surreal. And it feels very nice to be acknowledged, for your work to be acknowledged, for people, when you're on a journey, you don't applaud yourself enough many times. As artists, we also go through imposter syndrome. You never think you're good enough. In this crazy world of social media, there is always this comparison of, oh, look what he's doing, look what she's doing. Am I doing enough? Am I doing as good? And I think when things like this, like the Forbes Award comes your way, it's kind of this affirmation of, hey, you're doing well. You're doing good.
Exactly.
Continue doing what you're doing. And I think I use that at every moment in my life where I am lost, or where I don't know what I'm doing, or where I think I am not doing good enough, because that's always the case. I stop and say, hey, but look, I'm on the Forbes 30 under 30 list. I must be doing something right. Not in a negative, boastful manner, but in a more encouraging manner, where I say, it's fine. Let me just keep continuing to do what I'm doing, and people are taking notice.
Yes, of
people
course.
Are taking notice.
I'm sure people are taking notice. Swarupa, when you say people are taking notice, very frequently we find that the Western country always notices our Indian musicians or singers first, and then, especially when it comes to the classical segment or the light classical segment, and after that we get recognition in our own country. Has that happened to you?
It has. It as a duo, which is Filter Coffee, which is my main project.
Yes.
It's happened to us that we've gone to the UK multiple number of times and done multi-city tours in the UK, and we come back, and then there's press, and then there is magazines wanting to write about us, and then there is festivals wanting to call us, when everybody knew of us even before.
Yes.
But there is a certain persona that you bring back to you when you've travelled abroad and when you performed abroad and you come back to your country. Then people take notice and say, oh, okay.
Oh, you exist.
Oh, you've done all of this. So, you've gone abroad and performed at festivals. So, how did you do that? And that kind of a thing, which I think it's sad. But it is what it is, After a point of time, you have to accept that these are just some things, but everything's changing. A lot is changing. In general, the music scene is changing. So, there's a lot more space, avenues that artists are performing at today, and hopefully, classical music, semi-classical music, these genres also get the due that, that they can and they should.
Apart from being a wonderful human being, Swarupa, and I've known you since childhood, you've been a wonderful daughter, a wonderful sister, and now a wonderful mother as well. How do you juggle? Because a lot of women find it really difficult, to juggle between the many roles that, and being a musician, you're also traveling out so frequently. So, how do you juggle between these roles, and how do you balance? Because today, a lot of us are talking about the work-life balance.
True.
Yeah. So, how do you bring about that balance?
See, when my son was born, which is now almost 7 years ago, he was literally half a day old, and my pediatrician walks into the room and tells me one sentence which changed my life. And she says, just remember, he is only a part of your life.
Right.
That's all. Like, just remember you had a life before him, and you will continue to have a life after him. All aspects of your life. And I think I took that very seriously. And I'm glad I did, because if you realize that you have multiple roles you play in life, and they're all important and they're all equal. Right? No one at any point should overshadow the other to such an extent where you feel that okay, now I'm restricted. Of course, there will be moments where something will take precedence or something will take more importance over the other, which is fair and fine.
Yeah.
But at no point in time can I say, oh, I'm a mother, so I can't do anything else. No, I'm also a wife.
Right.
That's an important aspect of my life.
Yes.
I'm a daughter, that's important. I'm an artist. If I don't stand up on the stage and do what I am, I'm not going to be happy. Then
True.
where's the happiness in the house, right? If my son doesn't see me as an artist, which is what I want to be known as, if he doesn't see what his mom enjoys doing, then I don't see, where it's all going to.
Yes.
So I think at the end of the day, your happiness as a woman is of utmost importance, and you don't put that behind for anything at all, and you do whatever gives you that happiness. So if in that there is a corporate job, or if in that there is being a full-time mother, which is also awesome, or if it's being a homemaker, whatever it is that brings you joy, just you stick at it and you do it, and you manage all of those compartments because they're all a part of your life.
Swarupa, one last thing is that you've recently started a very, very soothing YouTube channel which is dedicated to chants.
That's it.
So I want to ask you, what is it that took you back to the roots, and why did you start this channel?
I don't really look it as back to the roots because I think spirituality somewhere has always been with me. I've always been spiritually inclined, which may not translate
and I think
as
your
religious.
mother also conducted these lovely bhajan classes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, I teach bhajans
Every
as
time
well.
we used to cross Matunga, especially
Correct.
your building, we could actually hear the classes.
My mother taught
happening.
bhajans. I teach bhajans to women. So I think I enjoy listening to bhajans. One of my favorite albums, even till date, to listen to is Anup Jalota ji.
Yeah.
And I think this is the sound we've grown up to, right? Suprabhatam, M.S. Subbalaxmi's, Hanuman Chalisa, these are songs that we've grown up to.
Yes.
I've grown up to these, coming from a South Indian household. So I think it was always a part of me, spirituality, and this channel specifically, which is called Chant With Me, is, it's just about, I realize that we have to take it upon us to I don't know, educate may be the wrong word, but initiate the next generation into,
maybe create the awareness.
Right? Of the next generation into our culture. I'm not saying spiritualism or religion. I'm just saying this is our culture, right? And I think I just started singing, and I realized that my son was also singing with me somewhere, and I said, okay, why not I just record it? So I just randomly recorded it one day, and I liked what I heard.
No, I think even I liked what I heard. So it's not just the producer, but it's also the person
So
who's
it could just be a mom saying, "Oh, I love what my son does," which mothers tend to do. But this is a very passion-led project.
Absolutely, but Swarupa, we can't let you go. I can't tell the people that okay, so we are at the end of this episode. I can't let you go without hearing some chandam from you.
Okay, so I'll kind of take you guys into my tiny little studio where I work from, and I basically like to do a lot of improvisation.
Yes, of course.
Right, whether it's live or music. Improvisation is totally my thing, and I'll probably just improvise a little bit on a bunch of instruments or
wow, that would
on
be,
a track.
That would be amazing. So let's.
Hello, welcome to my studio, and we're just gonna do a little improv of something. Let's hope you guys like it. Tak tak ta. Ta ta din. Ta ta din. Dinda dinda. Terekita dinda dinda. Terekita dinda dinda. Terekita dinda dinda. Terekita ta.
Yeah.
Just something fun.
Absolutely, absolutely. Wasn't that an amazing chat we had with Swarupa? If you've liked this episode, do share with your friends and subscribe to our channel. And well, we have a lot of such interesting things coming your way. So, catch you on the other side.
Tirkda.